Hey, so this video is going to be a little different. As I'm sure some of you know, season 2 of Fiona and Gary came to a close a few weeks ago, and of course I've had some thoughts. As a lifelong Adventure Time fan, it's always fun when I get to revisit these characters and these worlds. There's just nothing like hearing a Finn scream in 2025, or 26, I guess. You know what I mean. And it's even better when you get the chance to experience it weekly with the rest of the fandom. So after season 2 wrapped, I had the good fortune of talking to my friend Alyssa Jaden about her experience with season 2. We got through most of our thoughts on the season in this discussion that's essentially a podcast. We might have forgot a few things here and there, but hopefully you guys enjoy the conversation.
Hey, no! Oh, you gotta pay attention, baby. That's no way to live.
Alright, so one thing that immediately threw me for a loop this season was understanding what to expect in Fiona's world. I had to keep in mind that Fiona's world isn't our world, but it also isn't the world from Ice King's fanfics. So there were a few moments where Cake was stretching and it wasn't much of a surprise for people in Fiona's world, and that felt really disorientating to me while I was watching. Disorienting? Yeah. On the flip side, it does feel like this season is digging deeper into Fiona's quest for purpose, and she's been on this course for a while, so we're finally actually dealing with the messes that she makes on the way. So I wanted to ask you, how did you feel about being in Fiona's world now that it's been canonized, and did you have any different expectations going into season 2?
I honestly, going into Fiona's world now, it's kind of what I expected it to be like, because in season 1, they kind of really honed in on the fact that Fiona was like living a mundane life. And so I would expect for her world to be kind of like normal, but a little bit magical. So I guess for season 2, I guess I expected it to kind of be like season 1, where it was like normal world, but like fantastical stuff is happening. But I did appreciate that they kept it regular world vibes, if that makes sense, on Fiona's end, because I feel like in season 1, she was like learning her lessons through like the land of Ooh and all that craziness that goes on in, their universe. But things don't have to be that extreme for you to like learn an everyday lesson. And so I feel like I appreciated that with Fiona's journey in season 2, with just her learning these things in just her regular everyday life. And we were able to see that. And I think I'm trying to remember season 1 because I haven't watched it in a while, but I feel like it was like she wanted more out of her life, and she kind of went on that fantastical adventure. But then in season 2, she still kind of wants to find that purpose, and like everybody sees her as like this hero, but it humanizes her and kind of brings her back down to earth and shows us that she's like just a regular person. She's what I was thinking while I was watching it. I was like, she's literally like, what do people say, like a girl failure?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. I was like, man, she just does not do anything right, or like she's like impulsive and she is like selfish in a way. I was like, yeah. But yeah, I guess I just appreciated them kind of bringing her back down to a human level instead of having her learn these lessons in such a fantastical way. Pretty much.
No, for real. I think season 2 did a lot of recontextualizing for me. And I think that was a really smart decision to do, especially with having this feeling that there wasn't enough magic in Fiona's world, and for her to be aspiring to something that in the universe or in like the cosmic orientation of everything in Adventure Time, she once had. She came from a magical kind of existence, but because of the way that, these wishes and things go, she is longing for that, but she's no longer going to get that. And I think that recontextualizing it from a thing that you actually lost or a thing that you actually feel like you had a right to versus like, what is like the consequences of what you're doing in your day to day? How do you approach your situation? Like she's not paying no rent. Like that's, you can't do that. Like you can't do that. If you, as much as you might feel like there's like a higher calling to you or for you, you can't like just shirk your responsibilities. And yeah, I thought that was like it was really like smart for them to go that direction, especially when it's like season 1 again. I was like, all right, well, I don't know where we're going after this. We have this
like y'all went high. Yeah.
This is crazy. So it's like once you kind of like take that layer back, you're like, all right, well, there's still some like more personal nitty gritty to get here with Fiona and with how she like treats her friends and how she like what she personally identifies with. And I thought that was I thought that was really cool.
Or no, I have a better idea. Let's buy this place!
So after spending the first season searching for a magical adventure, Fiona's main quest for this season is helping Gary Prince create his bakery. How were you feeling about this goal when it was brought up in episode 1?
It was brought up and I kind of was like, okay, like this is what we're doing. I kind of just wanted to see where that was going. And I guess I appreciated it for what it was because it kind of connected everybody to that common goal. And like,
it was pretty like quick. Like it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah, like we kind of just jumped straight into that. I'm like, okay, episode 1, I binged it. So I'm like, it all, when you do that, it connects. Yes. Honestly, the first episode, I was trying to remember everything that happened in season 1.
No, for real. I kind of wanted to rewatch, but I completely forgot. So
right. And it's like as many times as I watched season 1, I was like, okay, so I guess in them doing that, it kind of did help me figure out the world with like Queenie and all that stuff and what she does in this universe and where Marshall and Gary were. But yeah, I don't know.
For me, I was kind of just rolling with it because it pops up so quickly. I was like, all right, well, yeah, this is what we're doing. And also, I do remember last season, I felt a certain level of like warm feelings about Gary wanting to do the whole baking thing. So
you just brought it back to me. Yeah, he was working at that bake shop. Who owned it?
Maybe was it the Lemon Carb Sisters?
That whole time I watched that, I forgot about that. So thank you.
But yeah, I'm like, I just remember that I had positive feelings about Gary baking. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like we're going with this now.
Purpose. He has purpose.
Purpose. Yeah. I think one of the things that I feel like I'm remarking on, like I'm going to rewatch season 2 again, but they were taking a lot of the characters that we know and they have their gender bent forms in the Fiona and Cake world, but they were characterizing them in ways that didn't feel like just offshoots or like flips of their Ooh counterparts, you know? Like Queenie does not feel like King of Ooh.
Literally in name only, they're like similar, I feel like. Because it's like, even when I think about Simone in like Ice King, I'm like, these are not the same characters at all. And it's like, I guess with Queenie and the King of Ooh, it's like the only thing is like, Queenie is always trying to have some type of business venture, like money hungry in that way, where it's like she's gonna have a business, she's gonna find a way to make some money. But King of Ooh is like a swindler and a cheat.
Yeah, and Queenie's like a real hater. Like she actually hates Fiona. Like King of Ooh does not have strong feelings about anything.
No, only himself and what can further him.
Exactly. So I felt like going through the season and. Again, that's one of those things that I had to kind of like be like, all right, this is different. And it was it definitely made it fun. More like you didn't know what was happening or who would do what.
Yes. And I feel like for me, that's also what I kept having to do is be like, this is not the people that we know. So I would be like with, what's his name? Felix. This is not Flame Princess. Flame Princess would burn this whole place down if something like that happened to her. But he's like, he's nasty. Like he's mean.
Slimy nasty.
He's like, ugh.
Sorry, can I just... It was driving me crazy.
Huntress, you ran those first rites like a pro. If you still seek power, the tooth must bite.
So going back to like the Ooh half of the beginning set of episodes, we get the Green Wizard's backstory. And with that, we also get Huntress Wizard's backstory and her relationship with that whole group. How are you feeling about that when that was brought up in the first couple episodes?
Honestly, I feel like Huntress Wizard has always been a very like mysterious character.
Oh, wait, are you like a Huntress Finn shipper?
I think like towards like when they were introduced towards the end, I was rocking with it. I wouldn't say I was a shipper. I honestly did really like Finn and Flame Princess. I'm not gonna lie, but but like I'm okay with this. I guess it's just because like Flame Princess is more open with her feelings about Finn, and like Huntress Wizard is like so close. I'm like, I like mutual reciprocating feeling. So, what was I saying? Oh, Huntress. I feel like she's always she's always been like a very mysterious figure, and so I appreciated that they kind of dug into her backstory a bit, and she just seems like a very determined person. With how she was even introduced with the other green wizards, it seems like she just had a personal goal and she was going to reach it. As soon as she got it, she was like, I mean, I'm not about to do what y'all are doing. I'm about to go do what I'm doing. So I feel like that was also her thing with her relationship with Finn as well. It's like you can't control her. But when the time comes, she's gonna show you show you in action what she feels instead of expressing that through words. That's what I realized while watching. I was like, okay, I like her.
I think for me, so if I go back to original Adventure Time series thoughts, I don't know if I had much to think about with Huntress Wizard. I like that they were kind of on equal footing, like they're both kind of adventurers in their own sense of it. And I think I really like that dynamic, but I ultimately enjoyed them ending the series with Finn with no one. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, this kid needs to, think a little bit. And I think so going into this now and picking up where they left off and kind of fleshing out that arc, I think that I enjoyed how motivated she was. Like she felt like she was actually driving the story forward. And I did think that just the stakes that played into her half of the story with Finn and the Heart of the Forest and everything like that, just that felt more climactic and felt like that had more like momentum to it. So I gave her more credit for that, but it also kind of hurt throughout the season where it felt like just say something,
Yes.
just talk, I was upset when she broke Fiona's phone.
Yes. Like now she has no.
I was like, you don't even know what that is. Like what? How would you do that?
Oh my, because I'm like, literally that is her only connection to like calling them, and like it was a whole thing with that. And she just threw it and broke it. And I was like, for your own personal feelings. And like, I was mad. I was actually mad at that. I forgot that happened at the beginning.
I can resonate with her in the sense of like, she's going through all of these universes. Like none of these things are like, nobody there is consequential to her. So it's like, y'all could all like blow up in flames. It
don't live
doesn't
here.
mean anything to me. Exactly. This is not my stuff. I don't care.
You wish to leave this place, little homie?
Yes!
You just gotta choose which direction you want to grow.
Kind of a random aside, but throughout the season, did you have a favorite one of those intro sequences?
I watched the intro. I'm the type of person that like watches the intro one time, gets a feel, and then I skip it after.
No, like there was like a cold open for like the majority of the episodes, and they would start with like a different animation style. They had the one with what is his name?
The Cosmic Owl. That was actually my favorite one. I'm not gonna lie. I kept thinking about that, and I low-key spoiled myself a little bit with something. But I was like, oh my gosh, like when they reveal like how the Cosmic Owl became, I literally I was gagged. So that stuck with me. So like every time they were like showing Cosmic Owl and then like the Karmic Worms, I was just like, I am gagged. Like, so I feel like that one stuck with me the most because I was like just thinking about how, like in the original series, all of like the cosmic beings have origin stories. And I never thought to even think like the Cosmic Owl was actually somebody. And so I was like, oh my, I love that they added like new lore. And I was even like on the phone with my sister while I was watching some of the episodes. And when they went back to Ooh and they were like in the Candy Kingdom and all the princesses wanted to kiss Finn, I literally was like, it just feels so good. Like we're really having like new Land of Ooh Adventure Time stuff and like the current timeline in 2025. Like I literally, that just had me like, whoa. So like to get like new lore on like the cosmic beings, I was like, wow, that one really stuck with me. So I would say that one.
The brothers were separated.
The one that stuck out to me the most was, I don't know if you remember it, but it's the backstory for the Green Wizards and how the Spirit Warrior led them to capture the Heart of the Forest. And that one, the animation on that
Was really
insane. Like the art style was really cool. I like the boiling lines and everything. I was like, oh, this is captivating.
Yes.
It's crazy. And I also like the one with it was like the old man who had like it was not an old man, but it was like a dude who and his wife who wanted a kid.
Yeah.
And they ended up having like I think it was one of the Huntress Wizard offshoots.
Yeah.
And they raised it as a kid, but then they like got into a bad fire situation like that. All of those little intros were so cool. I was like, I wish Adventure Time did more cool things with their like guest animated like episodes. And I was like, this is it.
It's like, unfortunately, we only got like 11 minutes with that.
I know,
and so
right?
I do appreciate that Fiona Cake is like 20 something minutes because I'm like, we can do so much more. And so like, even with the concept of introducing that at the beginning of each episode, I thought was a good addition because once the actual episode gets started, we have to like get the ball rolling. So it's like, let's give a quick backstory on what's going on. And it added so much context to like, not even just the episode that we would watch right after, but it's like, oh, wow. This is adding context to everything.
For real. Have you seen Princess Mononoke?
There's a place high in the mountains far to the west of here. It's where the spirit of the forest dwells, and it's a very dangerous place for humans. To enter there is certain death.
The spirit of the forest?
I've been told the beasts there are all giants, just as they were in the dawn of time.
I have it.
Okay, so that should be your homework.
I got homework now.
No, for
I
real.
got you, though. I got you.
One, it's like, well, when you watch it, you're going to see so much inspiration, and it's insane, actually, how many, like, cartoons and anime adjacent things took a lot of pieces from it.
Well, now I'm curious. I have to watch that. I'm going to do that today.
I'm not going to spoil it for you so you can actually, like, experience it in full time.
And then I'm going to rewatch Fiona Cake so that I can understand.
One thing for me that's always kind of like so interesting is that like even whenever something takes a piece from Princess Mononoke, it still like feels good. Like I can watch the reference and I can see how they've added that, incorporated that into their story, and I'm like, oh yes, this fits perfectly. Actually, I love this homage. I love everything about it. So there's that for you if you wanted to watch that. Also, the Heart of the Forest storyline, it takes a lot from Princess Mononoke and then also from Akira.
Oh wow.
So they have some like, especially it's like some animation moments that are like direct correlations. I thought that was really cool. Just seeing, I'm like, oh, it's 2025, but we're still seeing 90s anime.
No, for real. The more you know.
Tetsuo, what happened?
How'd you do that?
You look busted.
Shut up!
Okay, so I guess we talked about it a little bit before, some of the differentiations between the Ooh versus Fiona World counterparts. But I guess I wanted to talk about more of the Fiona World characters that got fleshed out. So we already talked a little bit about Felix. Do you have any more thoughts about him as, like, just throughout the season plainly?
Honestly, not good. Not good. It was because in season 1, I'm like, we never really like met him, seen him, anything. So all we knew is that like he broke up with her, and that was also what had her in the space that she was in, was because she was going through a breakup. And so I thought it was also interesting that in season 2, she's like in that space of being like, she missed him and wanting to like be back together. So I'm like, oh gosh, I appreciated Cake for being in her ear that this was not a good thing to do, because I'm like, he seems dodgy. He seems flaky. He just seems like a selfish person. And I was like, ugh, like, and then for him to get with Fennel, I'm like, that's weird. Like, is that not weird?
But that felt real though.
Like,
that was like one of the funniest parts. I was like, that people really do this in real life.
Like, when he pulled her up on stage at the DJ set, okay, I'm like, are actively, like, mind you, I literally just did a video on Daria and like a love triangle and stuff. So so my mind is in that space. So I'm like, with Felix, it's like you are dating Fennel, you're actively flirting with Fiona and being like, oh yeah, come to my DJ set. And then at the DJ set, you're like, oh, this one is for my girl. And you pull up Fennel on the stage. Like, oh, and she looks exactly like Fiona. Insane. Like, what is going through his head? But I didn't like him. Like, it was just something very, like, even though it's like, okay, he did commit to like the DJ session and all that stuff. And I feel like that's where his like priorities lie, is DJing, where he said he like never misses a DJ set. So I was like, okay, so he really didn't flake on the DJ set and all that stuff. But he didn't show up for like the setup and all that stuff. So it's like really the only thing that he cares about is like DJing.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
what it seemed like.
Nah, I felt like it was very confusing, but I was like, what is going on with this guy?
I couldn't figure him out.
I couldn't. I was very perplexed, but I think ultimately, I do think it's interesting in the sense of like, usually there's like a little more like malice kind of, or like I could tell you're being tricky in other shows, but I kind of appreciated that he was kind of just a flirt.
Yeah, it wasn't like you know, like you could sense the like, oh, I'm being slimy, it was really just like, this is him moving in his purpose, his personal purpose. It was like, this is just him.
It's like, yeah, no, you got to stay away from people like that.
Exactly. That's how Fiona got caught up, part 2.
I gotta fix this. I've been waiting up all night. When was the last time that you saw him?
A few days ago.
Okay, so Fennel, we got Fennel as well. We got the name reveal and everything. I thought going into that episode that they had together where they were looking for Felix, I thought that was actually one of my favorite episodes in the season. I know I've seen a lot of people on like Twitter and stuff like that just being like, what is this? But I felt like that was kind of like a very Adventure Time plot, like just like things are just rolling and moving forward at like a pace that made no sense. But when you're watching it, you're like, oh, this makes all the sense in the world. Especially like that, the armor and the sword stuff that like once they got to Venus and they're like, oh, this thing, it gets stronger if you love it. I thought that was really cool. And I really just appreciated the fact that I know Finn he was more proactive, but he had a harder time with the Finn-Fern like dichotomy. He wanted them to be on the same side accord. And I felt like for Fiona, it really made no sense for her to not like Fennel. So I wanted that to be a better relationship. And in that episode, when they do all the adventures and with the wizard eyes, I was like, oh, this makes sense. Like y'all are cool.
Yes. And that even like with Fennel saying like, she was mostly hurt because she really thought that like they could be friends. And really, I'm like, I think the only issue that Fiona has with her is that they look alike and she was dating her ex. That's it. And so it's like, and she wants Felix. So it's like, she's her direct like roadblock to get back with Felix. So that was her only issue with her. But it's like, wait, we're actually cool.
Yeah, like there's no problem.
None whatsoever. And you were saying like it was very Adventure Time-esque with that episode. And literally that's what I was thinking of. It made me think of that episode when like Finn and Jake went into that arena and they had to like fight each other or something, like whatever. It was like a thing where they had to like go. Yeah. That's what that one reminded me of. Literally, I knew you saying that.
I don't know. I was really taken aback by people not liking that episode. I was like, all right,
that's crazy. Like, and that's the one where they have to like find Felix, right? That was a good episode.
That was a good episode. I laughed mad times. Yes. I was like, oh, this is great. Yeah, I can't give too much to the Twitter audience. It's just...
Yeah, and it's great because I'm like, I haven't had the time to look at the chatter. So these are all my fresh thoughts. So I'm curious to know what the consensus is.
Yeah, and it's better when you get to like experience everything in like what's it called? Like when you get to like binge it, when you get to watch everything consecutively. Like one of my biggest pet peeve opinions on Adventure Time is when people think the fact that it's not continuous, like it's very scattered and each episode is its own thing. they take that as like as if the series loses momentum because of that, or as if like the show is held back by the fact that it doesn't string its arcs together in a more like continuous and congruent way.
That's crazy.
I
I've never
literally
thought
like
that in my life.
ever in my life, I was like,
I want
I've
Adventure
seen
Time
that
to
take
be
so many
linear.
times.
No.
Why would I want that?
No.
Like the way, at least for me, the way I watched the series, I literally would. It felt like a grab bag. It felt like I was like getting a prize every episode.
Do
So I
you
was like,
know
all right,
that's
let's see what's
literally
going
how
on.
I watch? Like, if a show that has like hella episodes, hella seasons, that's literally how I choose the episode. Like, if I'm watching Bob's Burgers, I literally close my eyes, press the up and down button a million times, press the left and right, and I just click. That's literally how I watch Adventure Time.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's like 10 seasons, and it's like, I don't care where I'm even starting from. Like, just put me in. So I close my eyes, hit the remote a bunch of times, and just hit it, and I just pick a random episode. Why would I want that show to be linear? Like,
exactly. Like, what do I get from that? Especially when it's like, even I feel like even when you make things linear, that's when you start to like compare, and that's when you start to be like, oh well, this episode didn't do it. This episode, and it's like, screw
and
that.
it's like a fun like time when you jump in or like you watch an episode, and it's like, okay, it's not brought up until like 20 episodes later, but it's like, oh shoot, wait.
I remember though.
But it's the thing I appreciate, even with like how we have Adventure Time and then Distant Worlds and then now Fiona and Cake. It's like, it's not about like a story, it's about the world. Where it's like there's a whole world that they've built and we can just jump in at any time.
One of the biggest strong suits of this franchise is just that you don't have to have Finn on screen.
No.
Like, you don't need him. It's like I love so many characters, like with their relationships with Finn, or just not even like regarding him at all.
Yes,
and that's what makes the show great. So sometimes, man,
maybe you should take a day off.
I can't. I'm supposed to be a hero.
You already are a hero.
Back to this the show, episode 6. That's like the big turning point for the season. We get the Cosmic Owl origin story with Karmic Worm, his death, and then a bunch of wild dream sequences. So first question is, did you think that the fish dream with Hunter and Felix, did you think that was Felix's dream or Hunter's dream?
I thought it was Hunter's dream. I did. I like immediately when she was like, oh, this is Felix's dream. I was like, no, this is Fiona's delusion. I was like, no, this is not. This isn't. Because I don't think that Felix knows about her liking or the Hunter romance. I think no, from my knowledge from watching it, and I kind of don't remember season 1 too much. But I'm like, I don't think that Felix knows about Hunter and Fiona's like underlying feelings that they have for each other. So I was like, this has to be Hunter's dream.
See, I was originally like that, right?
I want to hear.
And the only thing that really threw me off, I would say, is just the fact that the fishes, you know? And I felt like that was kind of like the analogy of like just another fish in the sea or whatever. Like, that's what made me think, oh, this is Felix, because he sees like everyone as an opportunity. And I guess this is just like in his head, he's making these gestures for Fiona. But I'm like, I don't know what else would make me feel like that. And then I also know that there was like the point where Fiona like grabs Felix and then Hunter's kind of like looking away. But then when Huntress slaps Fiona awake, Hunter like looks up. And I'm like, all right, so I was looking at it. I was like, what am I supposed to be piecing together from here? Because it's not, the pieces aren't piecing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it could be either or.
I know. Why is that up for interpret? Like, tell us. Because that was literally a point where I was like, I feel like I should be paying attention to this. When she was like, it was something about Fiona immediately being like, oh, Felix, this is his dream and he wants me. I was like, this can't be, because that's not, she's the only one that thinks that like Felix wants her for real. So I was like, she just made that up.
We're meant to be.
So what did you make of Finn's dream with all the clocks and the recurring deaths? And there's first half, I guess, is what did you make of Finn and him having those dreams? And then also, what did you make of Fiona's response to it?
Okay, I'm gonna answer the first half first because I don't think it'll come to me for the second half. With Finn, I feel like that's just how he is with like the original series and how he just kind of jumps into things without even really thinking. Cause like literally as I said that in my mind, I'm imagining like him just going straight for something and Jake just being there to grab him. And it's like, no, let's not do that. But Finn has just always been like, do first, think later. And I'm gonna help people. I'm not gonna think about if I'm gonna die. Like he literally gets stuck in space. He like so many things happens to Finn where he can just die. And he never does in a sense. And so I feel like that recurring dream that he was having was literally just that, where it's like everything that he jumps into, he wants to be a hero. He doesn't think about it. And this can be his last chance. Now, why he was coming back to life, I'm not sure, but I think that maybe that's just what he thinks about every single situation that he gets into is just like, and if I die, I die. And, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or maybe also he's probably ready to go. That's what I was thinking.
Huntress? I'm thinking about dying soon.
Bummer.
Finn, he scares me.
Exactly.
I'm thinking pretty much on the same lines as you. I think that for Finn, as he was in that think first, as he's always been in this think first mentality, because now that he's like an adult and Jake has already passed, he doesn't have like that somebody to be the person to grab him, to stop or to kind of be his like shield. So I think this is kind of what he just thinks about adventuring. I think it's just like, you just do this until you die and then it kind of rinse repeat. I was talking to my younger sister too about this kind of scene and like what it means for Finn and Fiona. And the thing that really kind of, I guess it stuck out to me was just, so Fiona is on this arc of she wants the magic back in her world, or she wants to feel a sense of purpose. She wants to be the hero. She wants to be this like magnanimous figure. And then we have Finn, who he is that, but being that, he has had to be put into a whole bunch of life-threatening situations. He's had to experience like pain to like the highest levels. He's actively had to repress memories of things that he just could not deal with in the time
Lost
being.
his arm and lost his dad at the same
Multiple
time.
times. He was broken from those experiences. And I think that when you kind of boil that down into a person, you get somebody who can't really ponder too much on some of their emotional feelings or some of the things that are kind of leaking out into their brains of like the thought of impending death and how crazy the circumstances that he's putting himself in. And you look at Fiona, and I think they had like a little bit of an exchange in that episode where he was like kind of telling her to follow her heart and stuff. And I think that the season was just pointing to how like that doesn't work, like you have to take the time to think about what you're doing, what you've experienced. And you have to also like, again, you have to identify with also the other parts of life. Like, you have to do the boring stuff. You have to do the things that like, I guess Jake would be more of like that reinforcing factor for Finn to do. So with Fiona, she glamorizes that sense of purpose and focus and all of that. But it's like, actually, no, that just leaves you in a pit of confusion and bad emotions and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was really poignant. I didn't even to the extent of like, they had like all of the things were clocks, like it was clock based. So I was like, oh, is this just like, it's eventual, like in Finn's head, like he's eventually going to die on one of these adventures. And it's just like, that's a really scary place to be in, mentally.
Yes. And you know what I was thinking the whole time I was watching it? Because I literally love when they came out with the Distant Lands episodes, and they had the one, of course, with Finn like eventually dying and then meeting Jake. So I was like, Finn's not gonna die. So I was like, that kind of ruined it for me because I was like, wait, Finn's not gonna die because we know when Finn dies.
I got real close this season. I was like, oh, is they like? I was like, they are gonna do it.
They really did. Like literally at the last second, it was like, oh. But even I was thinking about something you said with like how Fiona is versus Finn, with being like, if they're both impulsive, But I feel like Fiona is a people pleaser to where Finn is not. I feel like in a lot of her decisions, she was just like, I'm going to do this because she literally, I think, said to Marshall, like, or Gary, like, I think it was Marshall actually, like, I'm doing this for you. But it's like, this isn't what Marshall wants, though. And so it's like when Finn said to her, like, follow your heart, I feel like that is how I interpreted that, was like, she's doing everything for everybody else and thinking that that's what everybody wants, but it's not. And it's like Finn is a hero and he does that, but he actually does do things that like helps people. But Fiona does what she like thinks is going to help and actually like makes things worse. And then like, I'm thinking about, I kept trying to figure out why she was having that like glimpse of Simon on that part when like he turned from that like handsome prince to dying. And I think that it was kind of like you said, where it's like Finn doesn't have time to like stop and be like, I'm thinking about that stuff. And it's like, I think in that episode in Adventure Time, when he was seeing like his previous self in that,
Shoko.
yes. And he was like, oh, I'm going to put that in the vault. And it's gone. Yep. He does that, where it's like, I think Fiona, all that stuff is at the forefront with her all the time.
Exactly.
That's what I was feeling like. Because I was like, you're about to kiss your man. You're about to kiss your man. He just turned into dying Simon. It's crazy. Like, you gotta come to grips with this stuff. Yeah, you need to see the lady.
My sister, she reminded me of that episode where Finn, he cut off his hair and he dyed it black.
Oh,
and he was like,
when he was Dave or Dave.
Yeah, he was like, I'm Davey.
Yeah,
hi, I'm Davey. And it's like, those are the moments that Fiona has no idea about. But it's like the tower, like Finn has been broken many times.
And you can't get him out of it until he's just done with it.
Exactly. So I felt like that was like, it's just like a cool thing to keep in mind, because otherwise you would think that these are the same person, you know? But when you like actually lay the timelines out, especially, it's like, all right, this is like these people have two different stories.
And it's like Fiona still has like so much to go through and learn, I feel like. And she's just now scratching the surface.
It's all good. I stopped the cosmic owl in time.
In time. Heckin' heck.
So what were your overall thoughts on Huntress killing the cosmic owl? Did that like surprise you?
It's literally the same as how you said with her breaking that phone, where it's just like, why would you do, like, literally when Fiona pointed out, like, that has to have some type of like consequences. Like, you can't just do that. And she's like, whatever, like, that's. And then they got brought to like that place, and it's just crazy how much this world is so expansive. Because I'm like, yeah, you kill a cosmic being, there are like cosmic consequences, and you're gonna end up in that place where they had to go find Martin. And I was like, oh my, like that's all I was saying. I was like, oh my God, they're gonna go to like jail or like prison in that place. And so I was just like, her doing that could have literally derailed everything that she was trying to do. So I think that's what, once it got to that point, I was like, she needs to slow down. Like, she just killed the cosmic owl. That's what I was thinking.
I was really surprised. I was like, I didn't even know you could do that.
I didn't know that was possible. And then even the consequences of like, that's like Prismo's best friend. Y'all just killed the cosmic. Oh, I'm like,
so bad for him.
Yeah, like I was like, that's gonna have more consequences than I think she's even thinking about. And I think that was her issue, was that she wasn't thinking, just like how this whole thing spiraled because she was getting the like sap out of the heart of the forest. It was just one thing after the next that had these huge consequences.
Again, like, I don't know what she could have actually done differently, because I'm like,
we got the results.
Some of these decisions, I'm like, whoa. Speaking of Prismo, what did you think was up with him? And he couldn't make the wish for them, and I was like confused where that was heading.
They didn't touch on it, and I literally wanted them to, and I don't think I deeped it, honestly. But him not wanting to say it in front of, what's that guy's name?
The Scarab?
The Scarab. Him not wanting to say that in front of the Scarab, I was wondering what could possibly be going on. maybe his time is coming up and maybe he needs a predecessor or something and he doesn't want to say that in front of him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like,
I can't remember if Prismo made any wishes in season 1. So I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know where they're going with this. I'm like, maybe it's related to Jake dying and Jake replacing him and all of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they would have to spell it out for me because I have no clue.
Yeah, like don't introduce that to us and then we gotta wait till season 3. And mind you, season 2 was announced in 2023.
Exactly.
We in 2025. Like, whoa.
It's getting scary.
Yeah, it's especially with all this Warner Brothers Cartoon Network studio.
Yeah.
Like, please, I need this now.
So lately, I'm having kind of a wish-granting problem. Look. Sorry, guys. I got no wish Zazzle left.
This is a bad idea.
What do you know about relationships?
What did you feel about, or how did you feel about Cake and her journey this season? I was confused as towards like how seriously they were going to play her and Monochromicorn. She's actually a cat, so it's like this is kind of weird. You're doing like the whole stretchy thing to be like a person, but I'm like, this like the princess kissing thing. I was like, this kind of feels wrong. So I don't know how far they can actually go with that. And they didn't actually go the distance with that. They actually had her doing something different, which again was one of these differentiations that they had going on this season. How did you feel about her stories, like with the Cheers cast and all of that going on versus where she ended up with the karmic worm?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I deeped like the fact that Cake is like actually a cat. So I was like, I need her with Monochromicorn. And so I was like, this is so cute. This is And so when it didn't happen in the end, I was like, wait, like, so she just meets the karmic worm and her and the karmic worm falling in love because he's saying affirmations to her and she like it. I was like, wait. So I was a little upset. I was like, wait, because they like, how y'all gonna do this to me where they're just being cute, they going on dates and all this stuff. And it was like, I guess her personal journey of just being like, she doesn't know who she is, or she does, but it's like in a world that's not magic, she's magic. And it's like, I'm different. What do you like about me? What is it about me that you like? And she's like kind of having that like battle of like insecurities, but then it's like she meets the karmic worm and it's like he's not even like, he's a cosmic being that was something else before and got turned into this and it's vanished here. It's like that makes more sense. And then they both called her magic, I think, but it's like it just makes more sense, I guess, coming from the karmic worm where she can like see herself in him because they're like not normal. So I guess I was like, I get it, and like maybe it could just be a temporary thing of her just wanting to stay there. And I did appreciate, what did he say to her where he was like, it's like not all or nothing or something. I was like, I was like, okay, I'm warming up to this. Okay, he talks good. I see this for you, Cake. So yeah, I wanted to see a little bit more, I guess, because we got more time with Monochromicorn. So I was like, but yeah, I'm interested to see where her journey is going to go. But I did appreciate just like her self-discovery as well, because it's like she's not just a sidekick. She's actually very much a voice of reason for Fiona, but she kind of gets left to the side because like she'll drop anything to go be with Fiona, just like how she did to leave the karmic worm. But I like that she got a little bit of personal growth in this season.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think I was confused when like they didn't. I just didn't know where they were going with the Monochromicorn thing, because again, I also liked them together. Like I thought that was a cute kind of relationship, but again, I was like thinking about it with like my like taking a step back out of the cartoon brain. I was like, this is kind of crazy, but
she's a cat. Yeah, and especially because it's like we talked about earlier, where it's like, this is not the land of Ooh. These are not the characters that we know. This is like a normal world. It's like Jake and Lady Rainicorn are together and they have kids. Their kids don't make any damn sense. It's Ooh. But I'm like, this is actually like a human world, like normal stuff. And she's a cat, he's a human. It's like, how does that work? So it's like,
yeah.
Right, this isn't Jake and Lady. Yeah, who's buying this?
Yeah, I was like I was thinking about it, right? So once they introduced the worm and they hit it off, I enjoyed it just for like as I was watching it, like just like, oh, okay, these two characters, like this is cool. Like I liked him, like he's a very like refreshing character. And I also liked his design. I like the sparkles and everything.
Yes.
Cool.
Literally when he ate the first like, what was it called? Whatever, the ball. And it like plopped in. I was like, that was a really cool design. And then like something about that was very satisfying to me.
You live down here, eating pain?
Mind you, right? This is like right before we got on this call. Like I saw like a excerpt of Cake flying on his back. And it kind of just hit me in the head that, oh, this arc for Cake is kind of like Jake's arc when he was like stuck in the alien form at the end of Adventure Time. So he was kind of having a hard time dealing with the fact that he isn't a dog and he isn't the dog that he thought he was, and having to understand that he's different. And then he's like, there was also some like aging stuff I remember going into that, and they have that whole episode where him and Jermaine kind of have like a heart to heart. And I felt like this was where Jake had that kind of arc of self-identity. I'm like, oh, I think that's what they were kind of pulling on for Cake, but in her own way. Like they're going to actually make this make sense for the character that is in her world. But still, I think that they have like these emotional tethers to their like counterparts too. And I was like, oh, this kind of makes sense.
Especially because I feel like with Jake in the original series, he's like the comic relief. He doesn't take anything serious. I'm thinking about that freaking episode where Kim Kil-wha was trying to get him to like grow up, and he just would not. I feel like that's Jake for the entire series until that point, the part that you just brought up, where he's like coming to grips with the fact that like who he is, how he became, and all that stuff. So yeah, I can see that correlation for sure.
There's some stuff about me that I've been ignoring for a long time. I'm afraid of that stuff, but it's part of who I am. As long as I know the shape of my soul, I'll be all right.
Again, I am very impressed with how well this like show is constructed. Like I feel like they really like it. We're in the hands of people who actually watch and know Adventure Time.
Yes,
they like everything fits. I'm like, wow, this is impressive.
Yes, and we get to cuss a little.
Yeah, they be going hard, and it doesn't even feel out of place. That's the crazy part. It doesn't. I'm like, oh, this feels like they didn't curse in the original Adventure Time. Oh,
literally, like if they slip some in the original series in post, I'll be like, this is exactly how it was. This is how it always was.
Going back to like the Fiona World stuff, in episode 7, Marshall finally stands up to Damon, the dude that had been following him around in like the bird suit and everything. And by proxy, he stands up to his mom when he finds out that they had forced Simone out of his life. So then in the following episode, he reunites with Simone in the park and they have that little conversation. So did you feel ultimately that Marshall's story had a satisfying conclusion?
I wouldn't say satisfying conclusion, but I guess we just learned more about his life. I feel like Marshall's story was kind of tied to Gary's in a sense. I did like that we learned how he kind of coped through being with someone or, being a child of someone like his mom. But I think that was just kind of like, I don't think he really had like super story progression like anybody else in the show. So I wouldn't say like I was like super satisfied, but I did appreciate the lore that we got, I guess.
Yeah, I think I feel similarly with both Marshall and Gary, although I found myself kind of liking Gary's story more, even though I feel like it's even less. But I just had a softer spot in my heart for Gary and his dream for baking and his family and like his dynamic. I think for Marshall, I think that was the biggest thing that didn't really work for me in this season. Basically, I feel like the writers were kind of put into a tough spot with him. Like they're trying to reestablish this feeling of like control over like Marcy and Hudson, and they're pulling on that with Marshall. But I guess to me it doesn't make as much sense. The dynamic of that he has with his mom makes sense, but I just struggle to feel the type of sympathy that I think the show wants me to feel for him. And I also feel like the relationship with Simone almost doesn't really make sense, because I don't think anybody is letting their kid just play with a random ice cream lady. I couldn't be as sympathetic as, one, I think the show itself kind of positioned it to, and then two, obviously, the Simon, Marcy, like what the real story is. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like awkward here. I know your mom is controlling, but like I feel like y'all need to like talk or something, or like maybe like just make this more. I need more substance here.
Yes, because I feel like the way that they positioned Marshall and Simone and Hannah Abadir's relationship was like his mom was jealous of the dynamic that they had, and so she kept him away from her. But I'm like, the way I'm interpreting it is like, weird ice cream lady, my son keeps going over there. What's going on? I need to keep you. I'm getting a restraining order, And that's just what, and so I'm like, yes, she introduced him to music and all that stuff, and he's like confused, obviously, like a kid. Nothing really makes sense. Like, things are very black and white. It's like, this lady introduced me to music. She has a strong connection. Like, I feel like she's an important piece to my core. And I don't know what happened to her. She keeps avoiding me. And then he finally gets his answers. But it's like, I mean, from a parent's perspective, I was just like, okay. I mean, yeah. So with that, I was just like, yeah, it didn't hit the same as Simon and Marcy. That's all. And it's like, no, I don't want to compare. But it's like, I mean, Marceline was really on her own. And Simon like became like a father figure to her. And it's like, maybe if they would have positioned it as that, where it's like how Marshall Lee is now, where he's like purposely avoiding living with his mom and on his own and on the street and stuff, living in a van. It's like, if he probably would have did something like that when he was a kid, and then Simone comes and that became like a mother figure to him, and then his mom is like, oh no, I need to keep you away from him because like I am that for him. I'm gonna give him the life that he deserves. Then I could be like, okay. But it was just like, just because she put a keyboard out and he played a couple notes, I'm supposed to be like, oh shoot, no, his mom is dead wrong. And she is dead wrong most of the time. But it was like, I just wasn't
not
connected.
That one though.
Yeah, just not that one. not with that one for sure.
The way you described it right now, I think, or like a hypothetical way that this could work, is why that I think that the Marceline, Hudson, Simon thing works. Like, not to compare it like just like on a emotionality or cathartic way. Like, I know that dynamic has more sentimental value to me. I think just for Marshall, Hannah, and Simone, like it doesn't escalate anywhere. Like, I feel like the person that we have described Marshall to be maybe would have ran away, or maybe would have more of like a volatile relationship with his mom. But it's very like docile. He's very like avoidant in a way where he doesn't know what's going on with what happened with Simone. He just avoids his mom. It's like, all right, I think if you guys want me to have a more like, just be more attached to the character, I think there just needed to be more like emotional stakes.
Yeah. Especially, I feel like in the first season, that episode where we were introduced to his mom, I feel like that had more payoff than this season. Like that one singular episode where it was just like, no, mom, or whatever the hell happened, and he ran off with Gary. It was like, oh, like that's one of the best episodes of that season. And it was just like, in this season, it was like, I feel like we took a few steps back a little bit. Especially because it was like, I more so am like seeing how she's using her, or like abusing her power with Fiona more than I'm seeing it with Marshall.
Like, they don't have a relationship, but they also still kind of talk. So it's like, what is happening?
Yeah, exactly. Like, the most that he does is just like not answer her call. And I think Gary did say that, where he was like, Your mom calls you a lot, so I'm confused. And you just don't answer. So
it didn't add up.
Yeah.
I've just been thinking about how it was when I was a kid. Adults say they care, then suddenly they ghost you.
Huh? Your mom never stops calling you.
Never mind.
So episode 8, we get a couple big wrap ups. So the concert gets thrown and it's a massive success, even though Hannah pulled out. Cake saves the day. She stretches and is able to get all the donations, makes it even possible to reach their goal. And Marshall gets his conclusion. After the fact, once Fiona comes back from her Cosmic Court session, did you feel like her kiss and crash out did you feel like it was, I guess, expected? Because I don't even know if we can say that was warranted, but did you expect her to get to this level? And I guess, what were your overall thoughts as it was happening?
I feel like at that point, it made me start thinking that Fiona wasn't doing this for anybody else but herself, especially because I was seeing the frustration that Cake was having with her, where it's like we start the season off with being like, oh, Felix, oh my God, Felix. But I think actually over Felix as we seen. So then everything that is her motivation this season is like Felix, like every single thing. It was like, Felix. I was like, Fiona. And so it makes me feel like she actually had like ulterior motives with why she was doing this stuff. And then in the end, it's like you go and kiss him knowing that he has or I'm not gonna say that was just her. Felix, he getting the smoke too, but it's like they kiss each other at the end of all this, but it's like, so what were you actually doing all of this for, to finally get with Felix? And then it's like, well, yes, Fennel sees you, she's upset. And then you see that everybody accomplished all these things. Like, yes, you've been running around, ripping around and doing all these things, but it's like, why are you actually doing all these things? And then she starts to feel like, well, they don't need me. Like, I did all of this and they didn't even need me. So I'm going to destroy everything. It was like, so then what did you do all this work for, I guess? I think that goes back to our conversation about her being a little aimless, where it's like she doesn't actually have like a purpose in why she does these things other than like instant gratification for something, I feel like. And so she didn't get it. She didn't get that. And she crashed out. And I feel like she just is impulsive. And so it's like, it was obviously like, whoa, but it's like, I'm expecting something irrational to happen, but I just wasn't expecting her to like destroy the lot. Cause it was like, you just like all this, you came up with the deal to buy it from Queenie and then you destroyed the lot. It's like, what do you think that they're going to feel about that? I was just like, girl, that is insane.
When I think about when I think about her as a character and I think about where she was at that point, especially just realizing that no matter how much she tries to like white knuckle things, they aren't going to necessarily work in her favor. I see how she got to that level of frustration, because she's been forcing all these things and she's been thinking that what she's doing is heading in the right direction. And then when she kind of steps out and comes back in, it's like everybody else was able to like do their part. Things kind of I didn't have to make things more complicated. And I think that there are some times where you kind of put yourself in a million places just so you don't have to focus on, I guess, one, how stagnant you might feel, and then also how much of a mess you're actually making in these other directions, because you're like, oh, well, actually I have to focus on this, and then actually have to focus on that. So even the fact that this boys' night thing happened was a miracle in and of itself. And and Fiona has some like props in that. She just, I wish that she was able to realize that, she did a good thing. She did her job and like, that's it. But
my bad. I feel like as you were saying stuff, I'm like, I feel like she started getting lost along the way, where it started out with her being like, oh yeah, like we're going to get this lot back because she has something against Queenie. She wants Gary to have his bakery. But I'm thinking about it, it was literally when she started getting consumed with wanting to get Felix back, because the whole reason why she wasn't there was because it was like, drop everything, we need to find Felix because he needs to be the DJ to the show. But also being like, oh yeah, don't worry, Marshall. I know you probably didn't want to perform your song anyway. We got Felix. He'll do it. It's like, no, this is not about Felix. This is about Gary in the sweet spot, and that's Marshall's man. So they're in this together, and Marshall needs to perform because this is their thing. And then with Fiona gone, and we're not focused on Felix is passed out. Marshall performs his song. That's literally what gets everybody going and in a better mood. Gary is doing his thing. So that part when he took the money out that lady's hand killed me, but he's outside, collecting the money and doing his, like, everybody's doing their part. And Fiona is going looking for Felix, but Felix is not actually gone. He's like DJing. So it was just, I think she was just overly occupied with that to the point where then it's like, okay, yeah, you did all of this for Felix. Now you kissed him and now you've ruined a potential friendship with somebody for that.
No.
So.
But I'm not sure if that's what really upset me. I really thought Fiona and I could have been friends.
Yeah, and I felt bad. I felt bad for Fennel. I felt bad for Hunter. I think Hunter.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know what their pronouns are.
I think they are they, them in the show.
I feel like everyone refers to them as they, them. So like that makes more sense. But I felt like Hunter's character, they were like so understanding. And I felt like that is like something that, like, honestly, right? But I felt like that was something that Fiona should have leaned on. Like having those moments where they could have, like, you can confide in them. You can also, they don't judge you for being as messy as you are. They're kind of giving you advice in certain ways and also sticking their neck out for you. So it's like,
yeah, I was about to say, for real, that part.
Hunter has been like honest and like open in the fact that they like Fiona, but also just being like, yo, this is a person that's like actually patient with me and actually wants me to do better. So like to like fall that like low right in front of them, I felt like that's really embarrassing. And if that were me, I would have held on to that experience, that moment for the rest of my life. Like,
and especially because I was like, Hunter is in such a like crazy predicament because they're friends, or it seems to be very close friends with Fennel. So I was just like, that would be like unforgivable. And that, I'm like, so I didn't judge Hunter when they were talking mess. Like, I don't think Fiona knows what she.
It wasn't even like shady like that too.
It wasn't like that was real. It's like I'm starting to realize that I'm doing so much to try to do all these things for Fiona, but like she doesn't even know what she wants to do. I've literally got her this meeting with the park something?
Yeah, like committee.
Yeah, and she didn't even show up because she has all this stuff going on. And now they already been on my back. So now I'm in a pickle. I was just like, and then the course of events that happened, it's just like, yeah, I think I need to cut my losses with Fiona because she needs to figure herself out.
It's disappointing to be that person or to be in it and you're not even knowing, like you're not even understanding that like my efforts are actually causing me harm and the other people around me I'm actually making their life worse. Fiona, in that moment, I honestly even felt like her like crashing and messing up everything in the lot. I felt like that was like a low, like too low.
It was, and I feel like they forgave her a bit too fast on that. And that probably should have been something that went into the next season. Like, just because she made a nasty cake, I'm supposed to be like, okay, well, it's fine that you destroyed my van and my precious baking materials and bulldoze everything we just worked hard for tonight because you kissed Felix. It was just like, that was not okay. And then it's like, so people like Fiona is like, you're a liability because it's like, okay, so if things are not going your way, you're going to just bulldoze over everything. It's not how it works.
Yeah. Liability is the perfect word, actually.
Frank already headed out for me and now I'll never get him off my back. I just wish she would get her shit together.
There's enough dough for everyone to make biscuits.
Who's the kid?
I don't know. She doesn't really talk to anyone but the cats. Boss doesn't mind. Says a stray is a stray.
No, I felt like I sympathized with her when she was back with the worm and she was going through the pain balls we had that moment where, or it was like a flashback to her being left at like a shelter, and I sympathize for her in that. And we get the Hunter and Fennel talking about her, and I'm like, cool. Like, I understand where you're falling short. I also have seen you, I guess, for these 2 seasons. I get where your struggle is, especially like internally, and then also I see how these like external factors are they're motivating you, but you're not maybe taking that in the most constructive ways. I just really wish they didn't like have to go so low to get there. And I really wish that, I don't know, I've been even thinking about this as I watch the show. I wish that more shows would not do this with their characters, where they feel like there has to be like a dramatic low for them to like start to reflect. I think you can have moments that you can raise the stakes, and you can have the character fall short of maybe the emotional and intelligence and maturity that you are trying to build them towards in the season. But I just feel like sometimes when they have them do like the whole, sometimes you're gonna lose too many people when we kind of push this, like when we go too far over the
yes. Because I feel like with her kissing Felix, and then her even voicing out loud backstage that, oh, like they didn't need me, I feel like that was like far enough. And I feel like the next time she could have been with all of them again after boys' night, she would probably be feeling some type of way. And then there can be some type of fallout conversation from there, instead of her just like bulldozing the place. And it's like, well, now we have to deal with you bulldozing the place. And now you have to explain yourself how we got here, when it was like she already voiced out loud that she feels like they don't need her. So she can just, and then she kisses Felix. So it's like, it's a lot going on already, but it's like we could literally just have her get with the characters again and have her just be in heightened emotions about all of this. And it's like, oh, well, and then they come to some type of forgiveness and conclusion, like, oh, whatever, however that looks. But it's like, how do you deal with her bulldozing the sweet spot? It was just like, and Gary did say, it was like, well, you know, this isn't enough. But then it was like, well, I haven't had anybody cook for me in a while. And it's like, okay, yeah, that ties back to what she saw in the paintball. But it was like, this is all kind of smashed into one moment. And it's like, it shouldn't have been smashed into one moment, especially because the cake was nasty. It's like,
yeah, hot dogs and the cake is like, what are we doing? I think in that moment, right, there was like, I was disgusted by the cake. I was disgusted by Fiona even doing this and being like, this is your apology? Like, nah, I was upset. But once I even like took it a step back, I'm like, all right, I'm looking at Marshall, I'm looking at Gary, I'm looking at Fiona. We have, you know, cake off somewhere. I'm like, everybody has had these very emotional and like trying situations that had to make them grow in their maturity levels, grow in their understanding of like what their life has been, especially without the context of the magic that used to exist in their world. So I could understand how difficult of a situation that they're all in, and feeling sympathy for one another in that. It's just so hard for me to be like, yes, but, you know, you destroying this whole lot that we actually worked hard to put together. Yeah, I get it. So yeah, I don't want to harp on it too much, but I just wish things were a little different. So I guess that being said, I think one thing that I guess I wanted to talk a little bit more about, but I don't know if you don't have any thoughts on that in particular. I think that I just wanted to say that I don't think that they mentioned it as such last season. And I think the last season kind of culminated with the Fiona world getting canonized and getting, you know, made into like a real universe or part of the multiverse. I think that they didn't really hark on like what it meant to be canonized. And I think that even with how they showed all the plants kind of connecting through the multiverse, but then also showing that there isn't necessarily like, because Fiona's world has been legitimized, there isn't necessarily like a linear history of it. Like when Cake and Huntress were going back through the tree's history, it literally just went from Adventure Time it went from Ooh to Boring World, like in the blink of an eye. And I don't know, I felt like that was like a really interesting way to do it. It helped me sympathize with the characters because these characters don't have the history that even in their flashbacks and stuff like that, they haven't worked through any of it. So I just felt like that was like, I think it's underrated in how much that kind of helps close the circle for this season and series.
I could see that. Yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's just like when I watched that episode with Cake and Huntress hopping through the different worlds and stuff like that, and all those different like universes. I was like, this is so different from how things would go in OO, but also this is just different considering the fact that they don't like everything changed in like an instant.
Yes.
So it just doesn't. Things don't have like their history doesn't like hold the same weight as you would expect, but. Do you think that there would be a season 3?
I hope there would be a season 3 because they've went past Peach Street or something. I feel like that's also how they left season 1, where it was like it kind of was closed and open. And I feel like this season did the same thing and maybe that's why they had the whole forgiveness thing happen, because things are a little bit shaky with studios and stuff. But I would hope there's a season 3 because they've now opened up and we see that there's a whole world outside of where they've been. And it made me wonder immediately when she pushed that fence over, like, I wonder if anybody thought to leave town. Like, maybe they didn't think too far into that. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they have next, if they do have anything next. And I want to see more growth from Fionna, which I think that season 3 would be the best time to do that, because I feel like even in season 1, I'm thinking about that fight that Cake and her had when she was just really like, I feel like when she's really, really focused on a specific goal, like I think when they were trying to like save Simon and stuff, and I think they were in the dead world, they had gotten into that fight. And I feel like similar things have happened in this season where it's like she just is focused on like one goal and it causes like chaos. I think season 3 will be the perfect time for them to like really have her learn a lesson in that instead of like that happening again.
Yeah, I honestly hope that we get more like actual character growth, because I think that these couple seasons did a lot of table setting. They did a lot to like show where Fiona's head and heart is, but I do want to see like the person, you know, because Fionna, even in the Adventure Time, like Fiona and Cake episodes, was a bit more cool, I feel like, than what we have now. Like, she's cool here, but I still think that she ends up being the butt of the joke a little too much in these like 2 seasons. So I would want to see her be a little more of like a driving force in a positive way. Last question. Did you see the what's it called? That scene after the credits, the after credit scene?
I didn't. Wait, what?
Better watch your back, cause I cut your neck. Drink whiskey with your blood. Break your hands and shoot your cut.
Nice song, kiddo. Got a minute?
Sorry. Oh, wait. Because I'm trying. How would Hudson Abadir be in their world? Okay, what do you think? Tell me what you think, and then I'll think.
I think. Well, first off, I have no idea how the Nidosphere connects
That's
in the
what
multiverse.
I'm thinking about. Yeah.
So, and then we also have the Green Wizards who have their own ability to kind of stretch through the multiverse without like a Prismo kind of device.
And I appreciate that detail that's added, because Prismo's seems like he's a little drained.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I feel like that also connects us to OO and Fiona world in a way that we don't have to go to Prismo.
Exactly. And now we can have like more like multiverse hopping shenanigans.
Exactly.
So what I'm really confused is what Hudson would want with Marshall. Like, I don't know what that would do, but as I was saying before, we can now have some more emotional stakes with Marshall. Like, I want something like grander, something more cathartic, you know?
Yes, and now I feel like this is like, if we do get a season 3, I feel like that's the perfect time for us to focus on Marshall. I think now that I'm seeing that, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, let's focus on Marshall. And you know what I was wondering with I'm not remembering season 1, but I think we were talking about Marshall. I was wondering where his dad is because we know that as we see Hudson Abadir and but Marceline's mom is just a regular lady. It's like, who is his dad in this universe?
These are questions.
Questions that need answers.
For real. Yeah, I'm excited. I really obviously, for me, listen, we got Distant Lands. We got 2 seasons of Fiona and Cake.
Literally.
I think there's something else that is supposed to be in production that is Adventure Time related. My dreams have been fulfilled to extents that I'd never imagined. But if we do get a 3rd season, I will take it. I will gladly watch it multiple times. So
like, I'm extremely glad I hopped on the Adventure Time bus, and I'm well into my 20s, and it has not
I'm
left.
strapped in. I'm never leaving. It's a lifelong thing at this point.
Literally.
But I guess that's it for today's little recording. Thank you for joining
this was
me.
fun.
This is hilarious.
No problem at all. I am very glad to talk about Adventure Time.
Okay, so go ahead, tell the people where they can find you.
They can find me at Alyssa Jaden anywhere, ALISSA JADYN, literally anywhere. Make YouTube videos. I talk about cartoons. So yeah, I'm extremely happy that we talked about Fiona and Cake today. And it feels good to kind of have immediate thoughts after and talk about it with someone who also has great thoughts. So yeah.
Time for you to go home, Fiona.